So today we can't close our theology about strategy without speaking about the culture and the fight between the culture and the strategy that sometimes happens. It's like a game usually between strategy and culture, but who wins? That's what we are going to speak about today. Usually that's a kind of game when you don't prefer any one of them to win, because the winner and the loser will create some discrepancies in the organization. This question was inspired by the Project Management Institute, one of the questions in an online meeting. It says that, do you believe that the culture is more important than the strategy? The default answer, based on our previous talks on the importance of the strategy and its importance to dominate the workplace, so we get aligned and we follow our North Star and our functional strategies to be stemmed from the organizational strategy and so on. So the default answer will be yes, we prefer that the strategy is dominating the workplace. But actually, there is a fight between strategy and culture if they are not aligned. So what does this mean? We will see this in a moment. You can follow our previous videos about the strategy. We have two videos. We had spoken about the strategy and the functional strategy. You can find them on the YouTube channel, and you can find the talks on our blog. But today we are going to speak about the strategy and the culture, how they work together and how they work against each other and so on. So strategy has a lot of synonyms. If you like, there is the action, the approach, the blueprint, the design, the game plan, the method, the planning, the policies, the procedures, the scenario. You can see that in all these synonyms of the strategy, there is some action. There is some action to be taken, because the literal meaning of the strategy, it's a long-range plan for achieving something or reaching a goal. So it includes actions, steps to do to implement your strategy, and then you reach your goal. So it includes actions to do. Mainly when we are speaking about the strategy, we focus about the goals, the plans, the milestones. We go in the maintenance to speak about the maintenance strategy, which is a functional strategy or sub-strategy of the organization strategy that need to be aligned with it. So the origin of all these words is the organization strategy. So the variance, it comes to you in your place in the organization based on the task you are doing. So if you are in the managerial level, you can see the strategy as a plan, as a project, as a policy that you need to guide everyone to follow. If you are on the execution level or on the shop floor, it means some procedures or methods that you need to execute and do. If you are a board member, then the strategy for you is a blueprint for the organization or a game plan. Okay, so we had spoken about the culture, the strategy. So what about the culture? On the other hand, the culture is mainly speaking about humanity or human behavior. You will find little definitions speaking about the culture within the organization itself, even on the dictionaries and so on. Usually, it's relating it to life. So on Cambridge Dictionary, it's defined the culture of the workplace or the organization as the ideas or the ways of working that are typical of an organization and that affect how it does the business and how its employees behave. So the organization culture is how do you do the work and the context through which you are doing your work. Basically, culture really is more related to humanity experience. It describes the people life in different societies differ even in one city. So in one city you have different societies, and every society have a different culture, so the people life is different in these different societies. So the life definition simply, it's that the way of the people that the people will do they will behave ordinary. That's the ordinary behavior. So that's what they regularly do. So to make everything executable or easily achievable, it should be ordinary. So what you have ordinary, you do this by default. So if it is not ordinary to you, if it is irregular, if it is not acceptable, if it is not harmonizing, if it is not matching with you, so you will not do it easy. You will not be consistent in doing it. You will not follow it. One of the analogies which was great about the culture and strategy, that they are like parts of our body. The culture is the heart and the strategy is the mind. So the mind is your brain while thinking. So you cannot, if you don't generate a harmony between the culture and the strategy, this means that there is no harmony between your brain and your heart, and this creates a lot of problems within the organization. So if the strategy is like the brain, and the brain is advising some idea, the heart might give feelings, some feelings that are opposing these ideas. You feel frightened, you feel not happy, you feel disengaged, you feel that you don't like to go with this strategy, to go with this idea, to move with this idea, even though this idea might be a good one or in your favor or something like that, but it is not ordinary to you, it's not regular to you, it is different from what you are accustomed to, from what you are used to do. So your heart will not feel it's good for him to follow this idea, so it will either resist it or be planned toward it. So planned toward it will not feel some excited about it or trying to get engaged with it. The problem is when you not get engaged with something, that it will die after some time. On the opposite side, if your heart gives some inspiration, your brain will try to find clues or verifications that this idea may be on the wrong side. So it will bring you clues and evidence that this is wrong and so on. And the problem that the heart usually is not bringing evidence or clues. It's just telling you that this is the right way. It's better to go this way. So, but the mind needs some steps and solid steps and clear steps to follow and so on. You will find the clear steps and the clear process and to follow and procedures. You will find this usually written in the strategy. If it is mature strategy by the organization, you will find clear steps to follow and so on. So you will find your mind or your brain engaged more to the strategy than to the inspirations from the heart. It's like playing a game between them, between the heart and the strategy. If you try to enforce the strategy to organization culture that is not matching, or life or culture of your team, which is not matching the organization, the strategy is not matching to the culture, it's like that you are trying to make a fight between the body parts, a fight between the brain and the thoughts and the feelings and so on. The problem that the body led by the heart is not a fighter, it is a defender. It's like a goalkeeper. It likes to protect its regular or normal territory, its comfort zone. Sometimes that's healthy and helpful, sometimes, and protecting, sometimes it is not. Sometimes it's blocking your moving forward. So you can take an analogy of a little child. If he's trying to eat with a spoon, to teach him to eat using the spoon. Can you imagine the number of muscles that this child need to have control on, and to practice and train them to be able to hold the spoon correctly and move it till he reach his mouth? Take care also that he can't see his mouth, so that he can maybe try to feed his parents or his sisters or brother or something like that, because he can see the mouse, he can see the target, but when he's trying to feed himself, he can't see the mouse. He needs to feel, sense, and then aim to something that he cannot see, and then the spoon need to end inside his mouth, which he cannot see. So this needs some training, some patience from the parents, some encouragement, and some consistency till he can do this action. So if you can find this analogy logic to you, that's a real demo of making a culture change. To make a culture change, you need to align the organization strategy with the culture of the team inside the organization. You need some training, you need some patience, you need some encouragement, you need some consistency of doing it. So if the strategy and culture are not aligned, that's not in favor of the organization. That will not, nobody will win. You need to make them work together. So you need to apply a culture change plan. Then you get your culture aligned with your strategy, and then both of them will win. Otherwise, the culture will dominate, or it will win and you will remain in square zero. So in conclusion to this, that's another analogy that you will like. If you know the famous Tesla car, it's famous that it's having two motors, one motor for the front wheels and one motor for the rear wheels. And I remember the promotions about the Tesla cars, the first promotions about the Tesla cars with the two motors. It's like the Tesla promotion was, it's like the shifting between the analog and the digital. So the car with the two motors, the electrical car with two motors, is like a digital life, and the one is the other cars with the normal motors is like the analog cars. But think about if this Tesla car is having two motors, the front wheels is moving forward and the back wheels is pulling backward. So it will create a problem with the car, or you will come to stand still. Even we apply this methodology when we are working with overhead cranes. When we're working with overhead cranes, when you are lowering a heavy load, sometimes if you need to stop the load, you inject current in the motor in the opposite direction, or you take a movement in the opposite direction. Maybe it's not advisable also, but that's it. So it's like if you're having the culture and the strategy are not matching, it's like that you are breaking the progress forward toward your goals. If you find any of this resonating to you, you can reach us through Fiverr, so our trainings on Fiverr. On Fiverr, you can find the link in the chat box. You can reach us, our trainings on Udemy. You can join our trainings on Udemy, or you can read our lectures here on the website, on our blog, on the Maintenance Management Mind. You will find a wealth of information in any of these ways. You can contact us directly through Fiverr, on our YouTube, or on our blog. See you in coming talks with a lot of insights from the maintenance. Stay safe.